Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Central Texas Life. And we are going to talk about live local music. And the local music scene in Waco is alive and well, right?
That's right.
We've got Jacob Green, Dave Innis. Jacob, of course, along with his lovely wife, Katie, owns Stay Classy Waco, a fabulous venue for live musicians like Dave Innis. And of course.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
Well, because, Dave, you are doing something very special and new at Stay Classy Waco, which is located right on Austin Avenue.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, from where we sit at this moment. And
right across the street from the Hippodrome, for those that don't know. It's next to the barber shop, which is fantastic. I got my hair cut there and my beard trimmed. Just for this? That was one
Shout
of the
out
things
champions.
I was so excited about working at Classy was I'd get, I could just go next door and read the paper and get a haircut.
And delicious Italian food.
Right
next
at
door.
Portofino's.
Portofino's is right next
Absolutely.
door. It's a lovely little section of Austin Avenue. And Dave, but what you've done, which is different, I think, from most live music venues, is you have purchased a fabulous piano. And Jacob, you have built a stage for
That's
it,
right.
and you've got a permanent fixture.
Well, we hatched this idea together. Katie and Jacob were over at our house for brunch one day, and we just started brainstorming. I said, I've got something I want you to put in just the back of your head, put it on the back burner,
into existence,
and think about it. But this is an idea. Adrian and I have been talking it over. I've always been kind of looking for a place that I could, in retirement, that I could just play piano and just be able to walk in and sit down and play, and
not have to bring all your equipment. Because
wouldn't it be neat if we could do that at your place? You don't have to answer me now. Just think about it. And he says, or it was either Jacob or Katie said, we don't have to think about it. That's perfect. Let's do it.
Let's go right now.
So then after that, it was just coming up with the logistics. And so they built me a stage. As you said, I brought in a beautiful Petroff Grand. It is an amazing instrument. I'm so pleased to have it.
Yeah, I know your lovely wife, Adrian, told me that was something you have always wanted to own. That was sort of a bucket list item for you, that you've always wanted to own a Petroff.
Yes. Well, there's a lot to that story, but just in a nutshell, I'm just thrilled to have this particular piano.
And that it was locally found.
I had looked at a Steinway, and
that's not a bad brand of piano.
Considered I have a Kauai Grand at home,
right?
And I'd looked at some Yamaha C7s and what have you, but this one was just perfect for it's great for jazz, and has a really tight low end. It just is an amazing, bell like high end. So anyway, without getting too much into it, so I put in the sound system, and we're continuing to work on that. And but the stage is right up front, huh?
Right there. You get to greet everyone as they walk in.
That's right.
Oh, it's wonderful, and the setup is great. I know that a lot of folks have been coming to Stay Classy Waco to enjoy a adult beverage
we've
or
had
not.
Capacity crowds.
Yeah, I have wonder crowds.
How many times have I played there by myself?
So this weekend would be your third time, I think.
Yeah. Just getting this started.
Yeah,
really.
we're just rolling, and we actually had to potentially turn people away the last time Dave played.
I guess you do have rules about how many people. Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Well, that's exciting. I do want to talk a little bit more about this Petroff, because I did do a little research on the piano that Antonin Petrov in 1864 built the first one.
Yeah. In Prague.
Right, and since then 635,000 of them have been built, but they're regarded for their soft, gentle, rounded, romantic tone.
Yes.
Any comment about that?
Well, the thing is that the piano is designed to where the soft pedal, which is the pedal on the left, there's three pedals. The one on the right is sustain, and then the one in the middle is, so if you hold that, when you hit a note and you hold that down, it only sustains the notes that you were playing when you pushed that pedal. The rest of them continue to not be sustained unless you push the pedal on the right, which is sustained. And then the pedal on the far left is the soft pedal. And with the Petrov, it really changes the tone, but and as you say, it's a soft, very warm tone. And then when you let off of it, it gets the more of the bell sound. So I actually use that pedal a lot because it offers that sort of variation of tone. But yeah, it's a lot of times a soft pedal on a piano just makes it softer. But this actually is a way to control the timbre of it.
Yeah. Well, again, obviously, virtuoso pianist here.
Well, I don't know about that. Journeyman,
really
maybe. Let's say journeyman.
But Jacob, I want to talk a little bit about, now you're a musician too.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about your music journey.
Well,
are you still playing? Or are you?
Yeah, I tinker.
Uh-huh.
I played in a few bands. We did a few tours in college. I thought I was going to be some famous musician. It didn't turn out that way, but I get to hang out with famous musicians.
Really? You know one?
So my journey has always been around music, and I think I've finally, when we moved here with Keep Waco Loud, we just saw that opportunity to surround ourselves with music because it makes us happy, both me and my wife. So that's kind of been my journey with music, I guess.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about Keep Waco Loud. How many years ago now did you and Katie?
2019.
Okay,
we
yeah.
launched
So
in May of 2019.
and the genesis of that was, I mean, you love to go and hear live music.
Exactly.
But you were finding yourself going out of town.
Yeah, we were. It's funny. We were going between Dallas and Austin, spending so much money on gas. We got to the point where we were going to get an apartment in Dallas. We were like, whoa, okay, let's take a break here. This is crazy. And then we started searching around Waco, and we found all these very, very talented musicians that didn't quite have a platform that they were owed. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of like the genesis of Keep Waco Loud.
Right.
You and Katie are so community-minded. That's one
They
of the
are.
things. Adrian and I just fell in love with them instantly because they got very giving hearts, and they're very sort of energetic and entrepreneurial, but very inclusive.
That's kind words, Dave.
and
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's just those are traits that Adrian and I find very attractive, and so it was just a match made in heaven, I think. Yeah. Not unlike yourself. All those things for you too.
Well, that's what makes it such a joy for me to get to talk about this and what the plan is for you. And because, Dave, you're going to be very regular there at Stay Classy Waco.
Every Thursday in perpetuity, I think the contract read.
That's right. Yes, in perpetuity.
But it's during the happy hour. It's not late at night, right?
At some point, we'll have to make the stage bigger so I can get my motorized wheelchair back there. If we're going to go with perpetuity.
A little hairpin turn there to
we'll
get up
examine
and back to the...
We don't have to re-examine that till I get to that point.
But I know you said other musicians have come in to play there at Stay Classy,
right.
and they've been wanting to play that piano, and it's
We
not
had to
just
beat
no,
them
right?
off with a stick.
Yeah,
That's why we got
that
the
one's
stanchions
mine.
and the sign.
Yeah.
That one's mine. They can bring their own.
Well,
And also, I'm going to be there this Saturday
Whenever this airs.
whenever this airs. Yeah. But starting in January, I'll be Saturday from 8 to 10, and then the following Friday,
okay.
8 to 10, and that just goes back and forth. So, and we're starting with Thursday from 5 to 7, and if the crowds are capacity every night, we'll add another.
need to add another show.
We'll look at it anyway.
Yeah.
And the reason why I said instantly yes to Dave is because we kind of always had it in our head that we wanted to have a regular, well-known player, and just meeting Dave and just seeing how cool he was, and knowing Restless Heart was such a part of my childhood. It's funny, when I first met him, I didn't remember Restless Heart, the band, and then he left. And I looked up all the songs. I was like, "Oh my God, that is my childhood!"
Well,
I immediately called my mom.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever told me that.
I did the same thing because when I first met Dave, not quite a year ago, in February it'll be a year that we met, and you played for me for a little gig I
That's
had
right.
for a
Well,
little
because,
church. It was at Valentine's Day.
Right, because you called Gary over at Woodway
I
Band.
called our minister of music at First
Gary
Woodway,
Rhodes.
Gary Rhodes. He had met you, and he knew that you liked playing the old songs that I do, the old
Right,
standards.
40s jazz, yeah.
And anyway, I thought it was going to be a Baylor student because he has so many Baylor musicians and so I was expecting a Baylor kid to answer the phone. I thought, this doesn't sound like a Baylor kid, And then I said, of course, I was sort of in a panic and needing your assistance in very short order. It was a real emergency situation. Wow. And you said, yeah, I can play for you. So then I'm explaining some other things, and one song that is a regular request of me is the Mississippi Squirrel Revival. And I only do it in a program if I'm asked ahead of time, but I was.
That's a Ray
so I'm
Stevens
asked,
right.
you go, what? And I said, Mississippi Squirrel Revival. And I'm thinking, and I could hear you were looking up something like, oh, yeah. Okay.
That's Ray
of course,
Stevens,
I didn't know at the time. He knows Ray Stevens.
We were on his show.
He's
and
playing on shows with Ray Stevens.
Yeah.
So I get off the phone with you and I Google Dave Innis and it just pops up musician. And I'm thinking, this guy is a big deal. And
I'm glad
Restless
that's all
Heart.
popped up.
Well, of course. And so then the Restless Heart, I read all this. I didn't know all this. And I'm starting to look at all the tunes and I'm going, I know every one of these songs.
That's right.
I know all these songs
All bangers.
because I was working in country radio at Waco 100 doing morning news when they were churning hit after hit after hit after hit. And that was the soundtrack of my workday.
That is so cool.
So
Well, I'm going to be playing, Restless Heart
you have a
stuff,
wonderful repertoire of
but
Restless Heart.
I'm going to be playing a little jazz, a little blues. I'm
You
gonna
do
be
it all.
playing music from the 70s like James Taylor and
Yeah.
the band and Elton John and Ray Charles. I'm going to do themed nights. Like I was thinking maybe I'd do a Rat Pack night, do a bunch of Sinatra.
Oh, yeah.
And, what have you, stuff that fits in with that. Little Sammy Davis.
You have a vast repertoire, which is what makes it so much fun because, as you say, you can do various things and kind of tweak things for your crowd.
Yeah, and I like my sets to be eclectic too because, and I've had, a lot of positive response on that. I do old-timey country like Ray Price, Ernest
Oh,
Tubb.
yeah.
I do Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson and
Folks love it, yeah.
on and on. Yeah.
But when I heard you play James Taylor the other night, Mike and I were supposed to go hear him in concert, and then COVID happened and all that. And I'm not sure I'll ever get a chance to see James Taylor. And I thought, this is a pretty good substitute. I didn't tell you that, but I thought
that's going a little deep there.
No. Well, you don't sound as much like him, but man, it was great to hear that music again,
love
like
that
of our
song,
youth,
yeah.
of my childhood for sure.
Well, what's also nice, Dave also has a giving heart. He wants to help mentor, musicians around, and
That's right.
And he wants to bring them up to perform with him, which is, and you were at that show, and you got to see Chloe, and
she's amazingly
and Matt,
talented. Yeah, and Matthew, he's a very good guitar player.
They're in a group called Sun, and we put them on the stage for the Cultural Arts Fest, and we've kind of been having a relationship with them, trying to, they're only 19 and 20 years old.
Yeah, young musicians.
And to just have a wealth of information from this guy, Dave.
Oh, what they can learn from you.
It's amazing.
Well, I met their folks because they came. Chloe and Matthew performed with me on whatever that last Thursday. Was it last Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. And they came from Houston, and they are just delightful
That is
people. Yes, and Adrian
really cool.
hit it off with them too, so I bet we see more of them. But Adrian, I told them they could come over and use my recording studio, and so they came over, and Adrian made dinner for everybody. So they sat down at dinner. By the end of dinner, Adrian was going, "Can we adopt Chloe, please?" And then so we were offering them, you could come over here and do your laundry. But
they might do that.
They loved working in the studio, and
Yeah.
it was an original song. It was very good, and so I've just kind of, been mentoring them a bit there. But also I wanted to get Chloe. She has an amazing voice, and so I had talked to her about doing some Christmas music, right? Because 'tis the season, and so, she came with, I think she did Sleigh Ride and White Christmas, and she was just wonderful with it. And also, I was thinking about doing like a French cafe set
Yeah.
with
Love
her.
that idea.
Yeah.
And she wants to do like a Fleetwood Mac set. So I was like, you know what? I'm completely open to whatever is, as long as it's fun. That's in retirement. I did a lot of things in my career that weren't fun. A lot of it was grueling.
Yeah.
A lot of it involved a lot of hard travel. Mm-hmm. And I'm not complaining because I feel very blessed to have had the career that I've had.
Yeah.
But now that I have decided to, quote, retire, I just want to do stuff that I want to do that gives back to the community and that, is helpful, interesting, where there's a love vibe and a lot of joy that comes with it, and where I'm having fun. And I love to entertain people. I love to see their reactions, to include them. I like to be very inclusive with the people that come to see me because, I appreciate them being there, right?
Sure, yeah.
So when people walk in the door, I go, hey, welcome, And I tell you, it's so funny because somebody at some point last Thursday started feeling like it was a lot like, the show Cheers. Did you ever see that?
Oh, yeah.
It was the precursor to, Friends for all you young people out there. Check out Cheers. But then, Sam Malone and Norm and what was the postman? Cliff Clavin, the know-it-all that lives with his mom.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, my wife, whenever I act like a know-it-all, she says, okay, Cliff. But anyway, people were laughing about that because they found themselves singing and, and laughing and smiling
that's the whole
and having a good
point.
time. So then they got to where whenever anybody would come in, they'd go, hey, Norm, which is what they did on the TV
Of
show.
course,
I missed
yeah.
that. That's so
That's
funny.
So
funny.
I decided, as a result of that, because I was having, I was getting a kick out of that, so I decided I'm going to start my sets with the theme song from Cheers.
That's a great idea.
And then I'm going to end it with Cheers.
That's cute.
Although Jacob wanted me to end with, I thought your song was New York, New York.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a song we sang about. It's our karaoke go-to.
Well,
At
I
the
tell
end of
you
the
what,
night.
yeah, because that will be, I'll do New York, New York, as part of the Rat Pack thing for sure.
That's perfect.
Well,
Yeah.
I see
Strangers in the
Stay
Night,
Classy
all of it.
becoming as iconic as the Cheers bar in Boston.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, and
Yeah, it would be.
because it reminded me, I've only been to Nashville once, of course, your stomping grounds, but so many of the pubs and the nightclubs along the way, have the piano and it's just music. It's centered around the live music.
Bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach,
And I'm Mike.
and we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros Foes Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Welcome to One Star Rewind, a new podcast about those dreaded one-star reviews that every business owner hates to receive, but yet every customer loves to read. During this podcast, we will peel back that one-star review to better understand how it happened, when it happened, and what the business owner is doing after receiving that 1-star review. This podcast will be about love, hate, and laughter. On 1-Star Rewind, we will meet with real business owners who will tell their stories and how they do rely on reviews for their business. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or download us at roguemedianetwork.com. Please subscribe, but only rate and review for not a 1-star review. Join us each time for a new review and a new story.
Hey y'all, I'm April,
Hi, I'm Caroline.
and we have a new podcast for you. What's it called, Caroline?
Bloody Happy Hour.
It's going to be your new favorite guilty pleasure. We're going to talk about some bloody stuff. Serial killers, true crime,
Rape.
rapists. Why not join us? We'll have a good time.
You literally never know. I don't know what I'm going to say. Bloody Happy Hour. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Right. Well, you know, the lower Broadway scene in Nashville, but there's other places. There's a place called the Station Inn that is, it used to be in kind of a rundown part of town, but now the rundown part has gentrified around it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's called the Gulch, and it's, there's hotels and really nice restaurants and this and that and the other. It's very interesting, and it's kind of a downtownish location. But, it remains there. But, this is the thing I love about Stay Classy is beside it's a nod to the Will Ferrell movie Anchorman,
Yeah.
which is a wonderful movie, and everybody
of
should
course.
see it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what Stay Classy
I'm kind of a big
Waco
deal.
comes
People know me. Yeah.
I've been there so many times, I just call it classy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
The regulars do.
Yeah. So anyway, we're trying to build regulars because I want people to be able to come see me and know, that I continue to update my repertoire.
Sure.
And also I'm going to do a thing where I don't know every song that people want to hear.
But you're going to do requests.
But, I will take requests if I know them. But if I don't know them, what I will offer is there's going to be a box.
Yeah.
In fact, Adrian went on Amazon and purchased said box already.
I know this. This is awesome.
And you can write down the song that you want me to learn,
Okay.
put it in the box, and at the end of the night, I'll take that box home, and whatever songs are in there, I will do my best to learn them, and have them ready for the next time. So that motivates
come back and see
people
me.
Oh, to come back.
to come back to hear the song that they
Yeah.
requested,
Brilliant.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a
Absolutely.
little marketing idea I had.
Well,
You
it's,
got to get your hooks in them and make sure you
it's-
pull them back.
it's all good.
right.
Well, just today I happened to see a meme on Facebook. It said, being a musician isn't some kind of hobby. Collecting stamps is a hobby. Being a musician is a way of life. It's who you are inside. And I could not find who made that quote. I don't know.
That's
Who
it's
made
very
that quote?
true. If you're, Dave, you know this, obviously. You can't not do it.
Well, that's the if you just want to pursue music as a career, but the reality is music makes a great hobby for people. If you're a surgeon and you want to,
Oh,
or
yeah.
a teacher or whatever it is that you are,
It's good to continue
if you're a
to.
truck driver and you,
Or even if you
love
can't
music,
sing, you should sing every day. I
get
mean,
that
singing is
guitar
good
out.
for you.
That's right. Sing in the shower, sing in
It's
sing
good
in
for
your
you.
car, sing in your 18-wheeler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
music has that ability. It's a therapeutic thing.
And everyone is unique. And a lot of times I'll have people say, well, I'm not a good singer. And I'm saying, so what? You don't have a mic in front of you. You're not getting paid. If you just want to sing with me. The more the merrier. Let's have fun with this. It's not about how good your pitch is or how nasal your voice is or anything else. It's about, is it real? Are you singing because it brings you joy and it's fun? And that's what music is supposed to bring to everybody is joy and love and fun. Even if it's a sad song, it's supposed to bring something to that part of you that related to that sad song.
Well, and it'll immediately evoke a memory.
Exactly.
Food has that same ability. But
Sure does.
maybe beverages as well, but
Yeah, oh, yeah.
but yeah, definitely music
For better
does.
or worse, beverages can do that.
Right. Well, for better or worse, music can too.
Well, of course, yeah, but you do have some brilliant marketing, though, Jacob,
all my
and you're
life,
always, crafting new cocktails and coming up with great things for folks to enjoy
Her brain
there.
never stops. She's just constantly thinking of really great marketing ideas. Every now and again, I slip one in that's a good idea that she allows.
Well, the vibe down there is amazing.
It is.
The decor is great.
And tell them
It's
about
very
the back
homey.
room. This has been something in the
back
works.
room, we converted it and demoed it into a bar, an event. You can actually rent the back bar out. You can fit about 20 to 25 folks back there. Have your own bartender. We initially wanted to have a mezcal-themed bar, and then it turns out there's a mezcal-themed bar open across the street from us. So, so we thought,
I saw that.
that's their thing. We'll
yeah.
work on something else. They didn't ask us to. We just, figured we'd have a different vibe.
Do
It's
something
got
different.
a speakeasy vibe.
It
for
sure
sure.
does.
Yeah, right. That's what
definitely
you're
does.
not calling it that, but
Yeah, that's the vibe we were going for.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, even the door, when the door's shut, it looks like shelves. There's like books on it. So unless you look real close, you don't even realize it's a door.
there's a door back there. Well, it's really it's a delightful place for folks
we're so glad
to
to hear
enjoy. We watch a lot of British television, and the pub, is such a key part of the community.
Absolutely.
A gathering place, and that's what you're working toward.
We've really
at Stay
cultivated
Classy.
it to be that a place where people that work for the city can have a meeting.
Oh, I've had symphony meetings
Symphony
there.
meetings.
We had
That's
one of our favorite ones there.
I'm glad to hear that.
We should have another one there. Ann is the president of the symphony board this year, and
right.
she asked me if I'd sit on the board. I said, I don't know why you'd want me on there, but
Well,
the answer is yes.
You've got a lot to help offer, particularly on our artistic advisory and just your knowledge of professional music and professional musicians. It's really going to be a big help.
Well, I'm hoping if Jacob will say yes to this, I want to
on the
promote
spot.
the symphony
That'd be great.
from the stage because it's
Please.
part
Of
of our
course.
community
Yeah.
that's very important.
Absolutely.
And there are season tickets that you can get. I think there's even a
mini season, right, for
right, that's
the
available now, and
the concerts
Nutcrackers coming up.
in the spring.
And
No,
then you
we
were-
had Nutcracker.
Oh, you did
Yeah,
already?
that was
I
and it was a
missed that
huge
one.
success, a total sellout, which is wonderful.
Wonderful.
Now, what about the Grand Canyon?
Well, that's coming up in January.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's really going to be an amazing concert because one of our 4 finalists will be conducting. So and
One
it'll
of
be our first opera.
finalist conductors.
4 finalist conductors, yes, and so we'll be able to spend some time with him and visit with him. But also, it's going to feature the Grand Canyon Suite by Freddie Groffet, and a gentleman has spent months in the Grand Canyon photographing it. So there will be huge screens.
Oh, wow, that's
he knows
amazing.
every measure of music, and so the music will be timed with the photography. So it will be like an immersive experience as the magic of music of the West. And so, yeah, it's
When
good.
is that?
Now you put me on the spot. It's in
Okay,
January.
well, you can edit that in.
Okay, let me look
Just
that
mouth
up.
Oh, Ann's you're Googling it.
Well, no, I know the.
Talk
that-
amongst
It's
yourselves.
yes.
January
Smoke 'em if you
19th.
got 'em.
January 19th. I should have all this committed to memory, but I don't. Anyway, there's so much happening with live music, and of course from the symphony standpoint, we want younger people coming, and so always thinking of new ways to attract more patrons to the arts, including classical music.
Right, young people to the symphony, but see, we want symphony people at Stay Classy.
And they're
that too.
coming.
and so, a demographic, sure, I love playing for younger people on the weekends, but my Thursdays from 5 to 7, young people, you are invited, but I really want to get a demographic of folks that just want to come down there and hang out and see their friends. And, they just want to do it from 5 to 7, then go next door to Portofino and
Have a lovely dinner.
marvelous Italian food.
We did that.
And they can still be home by 10 brushing their teeth.
Yeah.
And,
As old people are wont to do.
I wasn't
Ready
going
for
to say
bed.
old.
Wasn't going to say that.
I'm not old. That sounds nice to me.
I was going to say post-young.
Okay, well, guys, this has been so much. We could go on and on, but
course.
suffice it to say, on Thursdays and then Friday and Saturday nights at Stay Classy Waco, the wonderful Dave Innis will be playing his Petrov piano, and you've got to hear this instrument play. But I like to end these visits with a little questionnaire. We've done this. You've done it? Okay. Well, let's do it again because I've slept since I heard your answers.
Put me on the spot.
So this is a little questionnaire James Lipton would use on Inside the Actor Studio. So what is your favorite word?
Joy.
Segway.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. We will segue into your least favorite word then.
No.
Yeah. I've heard that before, yeah. So you're agreeing with that? You don't want to hear no?
Well, it depends. I can deal with it. I hear it a lot.
Well, okay, what turns you on?
Here's what I don't want to hear. It's actually 2 words. Can I say, you're fired?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that.
No, exactly. I don't think that's going to happen. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
You first.
Yeah. I like challenges. I think that really gets my gears going.
Yeah.
Any sort of challenge. I'm a creative problem solver, so challenges. I love challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to stick with as a performer and even as it relates to playing down at Stay Classy, and that is that when you have a group of people that are gathered and they can come together around music that I'm offering to them, and then they're bouncing their energy back to me, and so it creates a loop, and the music gets better, and the crowd has more fun, and then at a certain point, the piano just plays itself, and I'm just in the crowd like everybody else, and it's become an event, and that's where I like to get to. So that's what frees me up to play at my best, is when I kind of can take my hands off the steering wheel.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I've never heard it described that way. That's great. That's great. What sound, then, do you love the most?
Oh, man.
I love the sound of my wife's voice.
Oh, man, how am I supposed to top that?
Yeah.
Good
top
luck.
That.
On a particularly challenging, hard day, I like the sound of a beer opening.
Oh, yeah. Pop a top again.
You were
Another
supposed to
country
say-
music
You were
reference.
supposed to say, I love the sound of Dave playing that.
That Petrov piano.
Man, that was a softball.
That's right.
And you
Failure.
went for popping a beer. You know what, though? I do this Jim Ed Brown song called Pop a Top.
I just referenced it, yeah. Pop
Yeah.
a top again.
Yeah, and that's the way the record starts, is when they pop on the top.
Okay, so what sound do you hate?
Ooh,
Fingernails on a chalkboard.
Oh, yeah. I can't even think about it.
styrofoam.
Ooh.
Yeah. I
Yeah, some
hate
people
the
really,
sound.
that really goes up their back.
Katie also has
Kind of
that
a
same
squeaky
problem.
noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other profession would you have liked to try?
I feel like I gave this answer last time. I wanted to be a teacher. So I went to college. Part of my journey was to be a teacher, and then I switched to history. I think it's because I saw all of the the bureaucracy of being a teacher and just how they just get pounded into the ground. And
I know.
I just, I'm more of a doer anyway, so I switched from that. But I love working with kids. So
Hats off to people who do,
yeah, oh my God, it's
because they have to put up with
truly.
a lot.
especially right now. Yeah, truly,
Yeah.
it's a tough time.
Okay. Dave?
I have nothing to fall back on. I've always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
From the time I was let's see, my mom was my teacher. I started playing with her, teaching me at 6. But, you know, I was doing this when I was so little that the keys
Just
were
to
up
reach
there,
up
and I'd go
make
to
the piano play.
Because I heard Mom's piano students. She taught out of our home. And so I really have never considered anything else. Evidently, the plan was, my father was an attorney, and evidently the plan was that I would follow my father's footsteps. But the music just got me, and so I've done it all my life, and it's my first love, and I can't think of anything else. You know, I was going to try to come up with something pithy like Canadian Mountie or, you know, or Park Ranger, and
that'd be fun too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that would be interesting. History, I love history.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, as long as I can play, I'm going to do that, and there's nothing else that makes me go, well, you know, music's cool, but I could have done that just as easily, because if there was, I'd be doing that instead.
Yeah. Well said. Finally, when you arrive at the pearly gates, what do you want to hear God say?
Welcome.
Yeah. Definitely not the opposite.
There's the door.
Welcome, good and faithful servant.
That's right.
And Innis, you could come in too.
Yeah, I would like to hear something like that. Probably, hey, good job. You tried your best, and that was good enough.
Yeah.
And it
Guys.
is good enough.
Oh, well, it's wonderful what's happening in the 700 block of Austin Avenue, I will say, with Stay Classy Waco, the wonderful Dave Innis and his Petroff piano. Yeah, just go by and take a look at it, but better still,
Yes, you can
go
see
and
it.
sit down and listen to him play
No
it.
touching.
You can see
Don't
it from
touch
this,
it.
from not even me. We're not allowed to touch it. But yeah, you can see it from the street. People can walk by and look through the window, and there I am, just playing away.
Yeah, well, it's delightful. And you guys are great. And thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having
today.
us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us. And join us again for another edition of Central Texas Life. Bye-bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.